Hello, today I'm going to swap out this ICC unit. I'm going to show you every step needed to pull this thing out and put another one in. Mine's gone a little bit haywire. The screen stopped working, so did the volume knobs and so on. And all in all, it's just rubbish. So if you need to swap one of these ICC units out, hopefully this video will help you. All right, let's go. So obviously the first thing you're going to need to do is to pop the old one out. Now to do that is fairly simple. All you're going to need is a few little simple hand tools and an 8mm socket. Now your car might be different. Yours might be a 2-seater instead of a 3-seater, and if that's the case you'll have a few little extra trim pieces and screws to undo here, but all in all not a big deal. They're all practically the same. To get this out, the first thing you're going to need to do is pop off the little trim piece that's up here. Now as you can see, mine's broken, and if yours is original and you're going to try to remove that, I guarantee that you will break it. Just factor that in. You might need a replacement, but not to worry, the replacements are really cheap. They're 15-20 bucks on eBay, and I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to pick up a spare one of those. But if you want to have an attempt of taking this out without breaking it, there will be a clip there and a clip there, and what you want to do is pry something underneath here and try to pop it up this way. Once you got that trim piece out, to get the console out is really quite simple. On these 3-seat utes, you're going to need to start by taking off this trim piece. Start off by removing your ashtray, which literally just slides out like that. Now underneath here, you're going to have 2 screws. One is there and one is there. Undo those 2 screws. Now on a 2-seater car, you might also have a 3rd screw just in there, but as you can see mine's covered up, so I don't need to undo that. At this point you just pull this away. So now you're going to have some wires to contend with, and one is here, so just twist this away. That's your light bulb and the cigarette lighter as well. In my case it's been swapped for a power source, but essentially just undo the wiring. Bang bang. Alrighty, so at this point you've got a Phillips head up here, so let's get that undone. And now the only other things holding this thing in are 4 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can get those undone, but before you do, underneath here are all your connector plugs. This is your radio, and then you've got 4 plugs. 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically just undo those. Okay, so once those plugs are undone, just get the 4 screws out. And now that those are undone, this thing will just slide out. So just grab it from the side, give it a slight little tug. There we go. And this whole thing will just pull out. And there it is. That's how hard it is to remove one of these ICC modules. As you can see in here, it plugs, the ICC module plugs into these sockets over here, so just be careful that you don't break anything when you pull this out. But there are your plugs that'll go back in. So now that I've got this unit out, let me go and show you how to put the new one in. So here I am at the bench. I've got my old unit here and I've got the new one here as well. Now before I can put this new one in, or it's not new, it's a replacement, but before I can do that, at the bottom of this unit there is a module right here which is coded to your car. Now it's going to be important that you move this plastic module to the bottom of this one. As you can see, the one in this has been removed. There's a whole bunch of codes and electronics that talks to the ECU in your car, so it's important to transfer this over. So to do that is really simple. Firstly, undo the antenna cable. Alright, a little screw out. Antenna's undone. And then you're going to have 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like I'm missing one here, but basically it's 4 screws. And just undo this plug over here in the corner. Okay, so once you've got that out, you're going to keep that. This you no longer need. So now just do the opposite. I'm gonna put this back on here and everything should line up. Clip this back in, pop all the screws in, and don't forget the little one holding your antenna on. There we go. All right, so now that this module has been placed onto the ICC unit, it's time to put it back in the car. Putting this back in is very, very easy, of course. It's basically the opposite of what we just did. So before you do, just make sure that you're very, very careful with these. Everything should slide in nice and easily. So just line things up. Just like that. Give it a bit of a push. There we go, that's clicked in. All right, so from here on out, we just gotta screw things back in. So I'll start with the top one here. Then come the 4 bolts on either side. So now don't forget to plug all of these in. And finally, don't forget your radio. Okay, just double check and make sure all the wiring's good, and mine is, so that's good. And now just bring this bottom piece back. Don't forget to reattach everything. 1, 2, 3. Just feed it back on. There we go. Drop the ashtray back on and put the last 2 screws back in. Okay, so now that all the screws are in, basically one thing left to do, and that's to put another one of these on. And I've got a replacement here from eBay and I picked one up. I'll leave a link in the description below. But essentially, got some tabs on the back, and these basically just clip in here like that, and then it just goes on like that. There we go, all done. Sorted. Now, let's see if it works. So, ignition on. And this is what you're going to be faced with. Now, the reason is because this module came from a different car, and the way these Falcons work is you're going to need the code from the ECU to match the module itself. So there's a little bit more to do to get this to working 100%, but I'll show you that in a minute. If you're really stuck and you just need to get this going, if you push the menu and the AM button together, all right, it'll clear it. So I just turn this off so that we don't get busted for copyright. But basically, yeah, it looks like it's all working, so that's good. Aircon, just test that out because everything goes through this screen. So yep, it looks like that's working. Yep, fan's working, so that's good. AC off, fans off, perfect. All right, so that is all working. Now what will happen is that in about 5 minutes, this screen will turn off again and it will say code. So next, you're going to need a computer and an OBD port. So basically, get yourself one of these. This one is from OBD2 Australia. I'll leave a link to this in the description below. Basically, it looks like that, okay? So it just plugs in to your OBD port on the car, and that plugs into a computer. Ta-da! You're also going to need one of those because you're going to need the 4Scan software. So to get that is pretty easy. Just go to 4scan.org, and this is their website. So it's quite an archaic website, but really all you really need to worry about is products. And then on products, right at the top there, it says
ForScan for Windows or buy 1 year extended license, right? So I'm going to get the extended license. You are going to need the paid version for this, but to start with, just download the software. So there it is, it will download. So once that's downloaded, just install the software. Okay, so once that's installed, go ahead and buy the extended license. You're going to need the extended license to be able to take the code off your ICC unit, but it's quite cheap. It's only 20 bucks. So this will cost you 40 bucks. This will cost you 20 bucks. So for 60 bucks, you'll be able to take this code off, which you might think, you know, is expensive, but essentially this software is really good to have, because besides being able to take this code off, you'll also be able to diagnose your systems on most of your Fords. So I can use this piece of software to diagnose that car, the Focus, etc. So yeah, 20 bucks well spent. Okay, so once you've actually purchased the extended license for 20 bucks, all you got to do is run the software, go to About, and then enter activation code just here, and put your code in there and hit activate, and that's it. So that gives you complete access to all of ForScan. Now just plug your dongle in. Now before we go over, I just want to point this out, that the ForScan website actually has some really good forums, and this is the one I found, this thread, which explains how to do the audio on these cars. So I'll leave a link to this address here, which goes through all the details, but that's kind of it. Let's head over to the car. Okay, so here we are back at the car. I've got the computer ready to go, and I'll just turn this car to the auxiliary function so that we've got code over there. Now your plug, your OBD 2-port plug is in here, and basically that one just there. So take your module and plug it in just like that. Okay, so once the dongle is connected, hit connect, and the software will run through a few initiations, and then basically head to service functions, and then under service functions hit ICC Module calibration. That's it. I think we're good. Check it out, no code. All right, I've just pulled out the module. I'm just gonna turn the car off and cycle the key again. There you go, no code. The code is gone. So now you can do things like set your clock, turn on the radio without having the code problem. Car on, no code. Car off. Car on, no code. Car off. So there we go. For 20 bucks, this is really helpful. It also lets you do things like diagnoses and testing things, and all kinds of different modules can be controlled through this software. It's very, very handy. I hear it works on Mazdas too. So yeah, you will need this, but it's very handy, not just for removing codes, but say you hit other trouble with the engine or the electronics of the car. This is now done, so we can shut this off, pull this out, keep that handy for another day, put the cover back on. And you're all set. There it is, guys. That's how you replace an ICC module in a BA or a BF Falcon. Not very hard, was it? Oh, I'm gonna try that again.
So there it is, guys. That's how you replace an ICC module on a BA or a BF Falcon. Wasn't very hard, was it? Give yourself about an hour and you should have this done. Just remember that software is important if you want to clear the code, and if you don't want to clear the code and you don't want to pay the money, then hitting the menu and the AM button will get you there. It'll give you about 5 minutes before the code shows up again. But besides that, you'll need an 8mm and a Phillips head, and you will get this ICC module out and have it replaced quick time, 15 minutes if that. So I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please give this video a like. Also hit that sub button if you want to see other videos coming up from me where I show you projects that you can do at home in your own garage, much like I did today. If you want to check out other videos on this Falcon, nice little DIY projects, then head to the channel or the links on the end board. And yeah, nice and easy one today. And if you've got this problem, go ahead and try this on your car. I'll catch you next time.